The law of emotional instability. Once you give the law of emotional instability. Once you give a commandment, it produces all manner of evil desire. Everyone who has a spirit of laziness has a spirit of failure. Every man with a spirit of lust of women is seriously emotionally disturbed. Anyone who starts a sentence with if has an emotional problem. You might be 60 years old, but some of you are 12 years emotionally. Why is it that people with emotional problems, when a man of God says, don't do this, they want to do it? Anytime you say don't, you have said do. If you say do, they don't. If anyone, they want to control, want to be in power, every time, where it's written 60, them they want to be at 8 to show power. And when a policeman stops them, they even challenge that policeman. And they can tell that policeman and reduce him. And then say you can write whatever you want to write. And fight with the police. Serious emotional problems. If you're always in trouble with the police every time, you're always fighting with them, fighting against the law, I can surely tell you, without prophecy, that your background was not good. You were emotionally disturbed. Because people who grew up with emotional stability, if it's written 60, they slow down to 60. If it's written 80, they slow down to 80. Check all messages which I've preached. If every message which I said, don't do this, you did it, it's an emotional problem. All open messages you do, but every closed message which is said, don't do this, you actually want to do it as fast as possible. It's a serious emotional problem, that one. Now, why is it that people with emotional problems, when a man of God says, don't do this, they want to do it? Do you know the reason? Now, let me show you. Because all of you are here. You are gathered in your thousands. And you are looking at one man. And that man is the prophet in front of you. So which means somewhere, somehow, there is a sense of importance on this pulpit. And with what I say. So if I say, don't do this, or don't wear like this, and all of you, you look at what I'm saying, don't, which means all the people's attention and their eyes are now on what the prophet said, don't. So which means everyone is looking at that thing. So now people without importance, they look at what people are looking at. And in that don't, there is significance and there is importance because of who has said it. So them, they would want to go and do exactly that. What I said don't, they do it. So that people look at them and they say, Wakapenga. Hey, you can do what the prophet said, don't do. And they get importance and comfort. That, yeah, we can do it. And the people start to ask them questions. But why are you? So when the people are asking them, why are you doing it? They feel comfort that at least people are now noticing me. It's a serious emotional problem. They are looking for attention, looking for significance. They want eyes to focus on them, and they go and do it to be seen that they are powerful and they can override the prophet or the pastor. So people big them up, and they feel very powerful. It's a spirit of, it comes through emotional instability. Then it can grow until you have a rejection, lack of importance. You start to love power. And you become manipulative and controlling to people. So to this group that is emotional, a position and a title in church can make you feel significant. Lack of position or title can make you feel rejected, unwanted, and unloved. If I comment someone, what do you feel if I take someone, maybe all pastors that are here, if I take a pastor and I lift him up and say, my son, I am very proud of you. I like the way you are doing. When you feel inside of you that this comment was supposed to be given to me, and you start being jealous of this man, it's a sign you have low self-esteem. You have serious insecurity. You need importance. Tell the person next to say, let your emotions be healed today. How do you feel when someone is commented? How do you feel when someone does good or a testimony? Do you know that Cain and Abel, Cain had a serious emotional problem because God accepted his offering. How do you feel? Ask the person next to you, how do you feel? Say, Lord, help me. Do you know Mark chapter 5, verse 16 to 20? Let me show you something about this. Mark chapter 5, verse 16 to 20. There was a man called Legion. He was healed. Those who saw it told them how it happened to him, who had been demon-possessed, and about the swine. Can you continue? Then they began to plead with him to depart from their region. And when he got into the boat, he who had been demon-possessed begged him that he might be with him. However, Jesus did not permit him, but said to him, now look at this, go home, tell to your friends, tell them what great things the Lord has done for you and how he has had compassion on you. Go and tell your friends. Legion, though he was demon-possessed after Jesus delivered him, but this man was emotionally stable. Emotionally stable people, what you tell them, they go and do it. Go home to your friends and tell them what great things the Lord has done for you. Jesus always wants us to go and testify and tell our friends the good things that he has done for us. We must go out and say things about his ministry. And what did this man? He departed and began to proclaim in Decapolis all that Jesus had done for him, and oh marvel, he did exactly that. He was emotionally stable. But let's go to Mark chapter 1, verse 40 to 45. There is a man who had leprosy. Now a leper came to Jesus, imploring him, kneeling down to him and saying to him, if you are willing, you can make me clean. If you are willing. Anyone who starts a sentence with if is an emotional problem. Because they don't believe they can get anything. If Prophet Jesus, if you can pray for me, I can also be healed. There is a man who came sometime after I prayed for his wife, and the wife was healed of HIV. That man also came and said, Prophet, please pray for me the same way you prayed for my wife. If you really want to pray, you can also heal me. Which means to him, Prophet Jesus prays for some people and they get healed, and he prays for some people and they don't get healed. So it's like when I want, that's when people get it. Because when your stepmother wanted you to get biscuits, that's when she would give you. So everything was given if she was in a good mood. Your mother would give you if she was in a good mood. Things were coming to you if your parent was in a good mood. If you are willing, which means they know that when their mother or father was in a good mood that week, they would get money. So it is an if. Anything they want, it affects you even on how you receive miracles in the church. Emotional problems. It's like when God wakes up on the other side of the bed, he can bless you. But when he's not willing, he will not bless you. So it's like chance. It happens by chance. God is not really willing. You are emotionally disturbed because everything to you was given when that master of yours was willing. When he was not willing, you would not get anything. So if you are willing, you can make me clean. Now can you go to verse 41? Then Jesus moved out with compassion. He saw this man's emotional problem. He stretched out his hand and touched him and said, do you see the statements? Jesus, before cleansing this man, he said, I am willing. It's my will for you to be healed. You don't get healed because I want you to be healed. You get healed at any time as long as you believe I am willing to give at any moment. He is healing this man's willpower. If you are willing, they are emotional. I told you the will of a man, the mind of a man, it's in the soul. The willpower is connected to your emotions. If you are willing, if your will is okay, you can do it for me. Jesus is saying, I am willing, I am emotionally stable. I am ready at any moment to give you what you want. Which means this man lived in a don't environment. Where when they say don't, you don't get it. And it was affecting his reception of a miracle. And verse 42, look at what? As soon as he had spoken, immediately the leprosy left him and he was cleansed. Verse 43. Now look at this. Jesus knows this man's emotional problem. He now uses the same language that he understands. Different from Legion. He is now strictly warning him and sending him away at once. And in verse 44, he said, see that you don't tell anyone. See that you say nothing to anyone. Because Jesus knew if he does that, that man was going to do it. If you say, don't tell anyone to a person with emotional problems, you must know after that statement, he will be telling everyone free. Freely. Anytime you say don't, you have said do. If you say do, they don't. If you say, go and tell people to an emotional problem, an emotional person who is emotionally disturbed, they will not go. Because everything they were told to do, it was a command. They don't understand the language of don't, and they don't understand even the language of do. Because they have imbalances inside. They are not balanced. So Jesus always wants us to go into the world and tell the gospel. But he knew the language of this man. He noticed by the way he was asking for a miracle that it was in an emotionally disturbed way. And Jesus used the same language and said, see that nothing. See that you say nothing to anyone. It's like, don't say anything about this, but just go your way and show yourself to the priest. Offer for your cleansing those things which Moses commanded as a testimony to them. Let's go now in verse 45, see what happened. However, he went out and began to proclaim it freely and to spread the matter, so that Jesus could no longer openly enter the city, but was outside in deserted places, and they came to him from every direction. So when you are a pastor, if you notice these people, when you want them to do something, you don't say do it, you say don't do this. Then they do that. If you want them to do, you say don't do it. They will start running around doing that thing. He went out, began to proclaim it freely, and spread the matter, so that Jesus, imagine, could not enter openly the city. He knew this. Legion was sent straight away. Go and tell your friends. Go and tell people at home. But this one, Jesus said, don't go. Don't say anything. If you put an emotionally disturbed person into an office that requires secrets, my Jesus, you are in trouble. That's why there are my mufundisis today. That when someone comes and confides something into them and say, Mama, please, this thing is confidential. Please don't tell anyone. Mama, I stole 30,000 at work. Please, I want God to forgive me. When you say don't, before you finish, they can't handle the heat that will be growing inside. There is a burning evil desire, an emotional disturbance. I say, I wish she can live just right now, so that I go to some people in the church and tell them this latest. And they go and they say, do you know that when my husband, pastor, was counseling sister so and so, don't look at the way she dresses in the church. Do you know she stole 30,000? Say, 30,000, but don't tell anybody. And it continues going in the church. And the church starts to lose people. Because the mindfulness is not stable emotionally. She cannot handle hot material. Emotionally disturbed people cannot handle hot stuff. They want to spill it there and there. It's too big for their small heart. Because they are small-hearted people. So they cannot contain big stories. Never confess big things to emotionally disturbed people. It will be out. It will be everywhere. Freely they will begin to talk about it. Especially when you say don't. That is the thing that they will speak. And everyone will know about it. So there are some issues. My wife was saying, Prophet, your heart and your emotions are now at another level. Because these issues, if we were to take even one pastor and make that boy or one man to confess, while a pastor is, you see them fugitive. When the person is going, there are some stuff that a person can tell you that, prophet, I took an axe, chopped a person's head, removed even parts, took the heart of that person, and I even drank the blood. And them, and you have a small heart, I tell you, it will be jerking like it wants to come out. What? Because the information will be too big for an emotionally disturbed person. And God also will never allow people to come and confess at that level when he knows you are emotionally disturbed. When you tell me something, a secret, and you say, don't tell it to anybody. To me, it's over. You will not hear it. Because I am stable. I don't have imbalances. You are free. I pray for you accordingly. But if you say, even if you die, even on your funeral, I will never tell anybody. Because you said, I must not. And I take you at your word. You have been pastored here. Is there any day where you heard Mama Chisa spilling out what was said in our office? Otherwise, there would be confusion in kingdom women here. Women fighting of information coming through my office, being spilled into the church. You see it in other churches. The Maim Fundis has a small heart. Any message which I preach and it is a don't, if you are emotionally unstable, it will attract discussion. That's why did the prophet say don't? What's wrong about it? And you are arguing, opening even other verses. And you feel like, no, I have to. Why is he saying don't do that? Why is he saying don't do that? And it's an issue. Because they grew up in oppressive, strict, argumentative environments. And in the church, they are like that. Can you take a don't as simple? That's why there is a difference between a child who grew up in a group A school and a child who grew up in a high-density school. Children in group A schools, they are taught to accept don'ts. When you meet a parent, you say, how are you, mommy? Morning, mommy. When you are on the table, you don't put your shoulders on the table. Don't. And so they are trained when they are young to be emotionally stable, but not ghetto church, ghetto schools. There is no law there. It's punishment after punishment. They are not taught why they must do that. You are just punished for what you don't know. Just punishment. Go and pick 5 bricks and run with them. The teachers are also ghetto-minded as well. They don't explain things to children. And those children are emotionally unstable. When they are eating, they have no laws. They talk whilst they are eating. Everything is fine. And they are eating. They don't mind even to eat in the streets. And talking. Are you all right? And making noise. But group A children are emotionally stable. They don't do. If you say don't go in that direction, a child who grew up they will not do that. If you teach them to drive a car, that it's 60 here, they will be in 60. If it's 80, they will be in 80. And they are not in trouble with the police like ghetto children. Ghetto children, they want even to take even handcuffs from the policeman and handcuff him with his own handcuffs. And beat him as well. And they can take away even his head and wait and say, salute me now. Emotionally disturbed. Fighting everything. That is called law. And they don't know why they do those things. They are not understanding, but don't think they want to do what they are doing. They don't even like it. But there is a law that was disturbed inside of them when they were growing up. When your mother says don't, what do you do? God had to heal me when I was growing up, because even my wife, we are different. Because me, I grew up in Chishanje, in Harare, in a ghetto, where we were seeing people being killed in front of us. So to me, a policeman, because my brother would beat a policeman in front of me and handcuff him. My own brother. And when they wanted to arrest him, they would come with guns. You don't arrest anyone in Chishanje without guns. And fire in the air and say, come out before we break the door. And him you would call through the window and say, go and call fire brigade. I will not come out. Try it to come in here. And the police in Mavuku, they used to call him fire brigade. Because if you want to go and get him, you are supposed to be very armed. One day I came and I saw a policeman crying. And he was handcuffed by the wall, by a gate at our neighbor's house. And he was saying, it's your brother, look at this. Who did this? We are going to get him. And I had to apologize, and we went to look for other policemen, and I had to beg, because it's a serious crime to do that. And whenever he was being arrested, taking him to jail, when they are going with him, he would say, you are taking me to my house. That is where my bed is. He does it. All these prisons, he knows them. But he was not the only one. There were many like that. But my wife grew up in Group A school. So she had to tell me, until God showed me that, pray for healing in that area. Because even when I'm in a combi, I would speak to an extent, even people walking, they would hear what I was talking when the combi is moving. Yeah, the power is moving. God is doing things. And everyone needed to listen. And my wife, when she's speaking, you don't hear what she's saying on the phone. He said, but are you talking? Because to me, you must shout for people to hear you. Because in our area, you are supposed to say something 15 times for someone to do it. Because my mother would call me, and I would hear she's calling me. She would start, bully! You are bully! Why kono? Bully! What am I saying? And after she's now almost losing her voice, that's when I would come. So there are many bully here. You have to scream for them to change. If you say it softly, they will not hear you. Because my wife had to help me to get emotional healing. Because of our environment. If you say, she would say, my husband, ZBC people are coming. You are a man of God. Let's buy license. I will say nothing. In the ZBC, they are showing nothing. I will not buy. I will not waste my time. And my wife does not fight. She keeps quiet. And after 3 days, ZBC will come. Give us a fine. And more money is now being paid now. And my wife would not even look at me with an eye that, didn't I tell you? On my own, I would come and say, my wife, I'm very sorry. You were very correct. Don't fight with those people to prove, because they will even continue. So she would not even fight with me until my heart was now stable. Even when I started driving a car, I was in trouble. At 60, I will be 120. Because ghetto chishanje would be man. If I see 60, to me it's 120. And I start to argue with the police. No, you cannot arrest me. Because I am tired. I am also delivering people. And you also need deliverance. And I start even to prophesy to them. My wife said, no, my husband. You are now becoming a person to reckon within the society. When you have done wrong, apologize. When they say, Mr. Policeman, I'm very sorry, I admit my guilt. And when it's 60, be at 60. When it's 80, be at 80. Because whenever we would be going to Botswana, if my wife says, we are now at 60, I don't know how, brethren, to tell you the truth, I would go to 100. I would just find myself, police is stopping me, and I'm in 100 at 60. So that's why I can teach this subject and help people I know when I'm leading. I know you. Serious emotional problems. Because there's something that wants to break law in you. You are not emotionally stable. You need deliverance. You will never see Group A children jumping the cross-boarding illegal. They will get their passport. But go to Makokoba and Msilikas. They are the ones who use Malaicha to sneak people out of the nation. And they don't mind whether they are crocodiles. They say, we will crocodile each other, we will eat each other inside. They die crossing rivers. Emotional problems. They just love to break the law. So if you say don't once, don't go, don't two. Because you'll be in trouble. You will strengthen that power. And that's what Paul is saying, that I don't understand how I do what I don't want to do, but I just find myself, there is a law working in me which makes me to do what I don't want to do. Why is it you love noisy things every time? It's an emotional problem. Because the noise gives comfort and significance. Because where there is noise, people's eyes are there. If you put an emotionally disturbed person into an office that are useless, how do you communicate with the people even at your workplace? Even if you are a boss at work, there are some here who are managing directors. How do you communicate with the people? It's a sign you have emotional problems. Because if you say to somebody, this is wrong, you don't need to go and say, that's why your face is ugly. And that's why you are this, and you demean someone so that you appear important. You have a serious emotional problem. If you see men looking for a small house, They want another wife. Those polygamists, oh, that's pathetic. Their heart is too small. Even if they get those women, they cannot contain them. If you cannot contain one woman, you are in serious emotional problems in your life. You must rest on your wife. And full stop. I chose this woman. And I rested there. You will never hear anything more than this. I am with her. Why? Because I dealt with my emotions thoroughly. They are not everywhere. Why would you want to go and share your marital problems with another woman and not your wife at work? Can't you see that you have a problem? That my wife and I, we are fighting. No, that is the office of a prophet. Come to me, I am your mentor, and tell me what is happening in your marriage. Don't go to another woman. And start to cry, and she hugs you, wife, and say, oh, my dear. And you will not know how a dear child will come between the two of you. Why can't you share your problems with your wife? Huh? You men, look at me right now. I said, why do you need some other woman, not your wife, for her to console you? And my question is, did you find consolation in that? What happened after that? Why is it you don't feel like your wife is enough? You feel like you want something better, something else. And there's something else, you never get it. It's a spirit of emotional disturbance. Every man with a spirit of lust of women is seriously emotionally disturbed. Because they cannot settle at one thing. When they see one who is like a Tarino bottle, they follow him. One like a Coca-Cola, they are following. They want everything. You want tall ones, you want short ones, you want fat ones, you want everything. Even the sick ones, you want them. Everything. You are looking for it. What is your problem? Why can't you sit down? If you can now be satisfied with your wife and you look at all other women and they start to look like men in front of you, you are now at another level. You are now at another level. Emotionally, you are now at another level. Thank God the area of lust was never in my blood. We want to deal with people that are struggling. If you get healed in this area, I know you will be somewhere in your life. Even in business, you can make proper decisions without faltering. Because it takes a stable heart to be a billionaire or to be a multimillionaire. It is not for small-hearted people. People with a low self-esteem. Because otherwise they will blow that money away. That's why many Africans, they get powerful businesses, and they blow out that money in as fast as they got it. Do you know why? Emotional problems. They are looking for importance. Get this girl, splash money. Get another one, splash money. Get another one, splash money. And they are getting poor and poor. So many people are becoming big when they are still young emotionally inside. Never be a pastor until you deal with this. Do you know some of you, you are emotionally disturbed? You feel your blood is even looking for handcuffs. You feel that, no, I wish I can just be arrested just for 2 days. There are people like that. If you are looking for love, you will never get it. Learn to love people first. A title must never be something that you are hungry for. Because power is a sign. Hunger for power, it's a sign of emotional problems. Let's all say power. Say power gives importance. Say power gives significance. So anyone who has got a problem of wanting power to control, power hungry, is emotionally stable. You want to be a boss everywhere. You want to be an executive. You want to be powerful position everywhere. They are very jealous, and these people and are in competition. They want noticeable titles, bullying, dictators, fight, and shouting at people. Things that makes them to have an opportunity to shout at people. They want money. And you can prostitute if you are a woman to get money. Prostitution is a serious emotional problem. Why do they want money? Because money gives them power to control people. Emotionally unstable want a title that gives them opportunity to control, manipulate, rebuke, correct, dominate, and harass others. They demean, despise, reduce people to be like animals. Even in the church, you want to call the shots every time. If someone is commented, these people, you feel humiliated. Why was I not? You want to be the most talked person. And you can lie to get attention and respect. Anything causing you wanting to be in the limelight, successful, you want a successful portfolio in the church, the most successful portfolio, you will be hunting for it. And you can schooner anyone, you can triple people in order to get that. And you can report that person to the men of God. Because you want them removed, and so that you are put there. You don't listen to anyone except prophet. Even prophet, you don't even. And you don't want to be under anyone. Anyone who doesn't want to be under a family fellowship. You don't want to be under a cell group. You don't want others to lead you. You just want to be a leader. It's a serious emotional problem. Why can you not sit down and be led by someone? Why is it you find it difficult for other people to lead you? You want flashy things, flashy car, flashy house, flashy school for children, noisy, flashy. Anything with money, you want to be associated with it. You love money too much. You can steal, you don't even mind to go to hell as long as you get money. Churches you follow are the ones making noise at that time. If it goes down, you leave. You want to be associated with success. Because anything without success makes you inferior. You attach yourselves. Say, camera people. You want attention. You can lose money fast. And this, you can pretend to be rich and dress very fashionable to seek attention. How much money do you have in your bank account? Be open. Don't lie to people that you are a millionaire when you don't even have 10,000 in your bank account. I like this quietness. It means I'm speaking to everyone today. Hallelujah. Can we stand on our feet?